Christian Simon also lamented the impact of the incident, that there's been no comment from the River State government on the 7th December fires. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is my question. Should the government offer aid to all victims of fire incidences? Please listen to this very, very carefully, please. Once again, I empathize, all right, and I offer, my heartfelt pain and, commiseration to those who have either lost lives or properties, in fires in the past years and whatnot, particularly in recent times in Port Harcourt, right? But almost every single time that there's a fire outbreak, whether it's at the markets, whether it's a block of flats that got burned, particularly when it comes to the markets, right? You often hear this line, government, come to our aid, though. Now, several times we've had the River State government in particular come to people's aid. We hear maybe, millions were sent here, this was sent there, they were collating, okay, who are the real traders, yada, 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 yada. But let us be very honest to each other. If you have an accident on the road right now, through no fault of yours, right? No fault of yours, your car just spontaneously combusts, right? Just burns down. Or maybe you hit somebody or somebody hits you, all right? Or let's say that very road that everyone is complaining about, the Element Road, the East-West Road where you're traveling to Warri, several accidents have happened, blah, 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 blah. Does the government come to fix people's cars? So, fire is very different. I can understand, maybe. But when these fires occur at people's shops, right? Does the government really owe them any aid? I am not saying if the government does, it's not good. I think it's a great idea, all right? The government should come to people's aid. But does the government really need to come to the aid of the food garden market people, of the market people in Rumola, in Rumosi, wherever there's a fire? Like say there's a fire in one area, in Rumola or whatever. Oh, my shops. Oh, my God. Oh, my livelihood. Government. Should government really be the one? Or, this is just top of my head, or maybe the victims have to bear the brunt. Finally, before I open the phone line, those of you who are students of history would remember Hurricane Katrina in the US. That was a devastating hurricane that cost billions of dollars in damage to that part of America. Talking about the southeast of the United States. Big, so big that FEMA had to come through. The government had to give loans. The government had to rebuild roads, rebuild schools. The government had to do that. And the government also gave some people some checks so that they can survive. But from what I gathered, the government did not give people money to replace their businesses or their homes. So on this pokey talk station this morning, we asked the question, what exactly is the government's role after a fire outbreak?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
017-923-0002, 0817923-0007. Once again, 0817923-0002, 0817923-0007. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X, Twitter. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. WhatsApp is 08090306416, 08090306416. Please don't forget, turn down the volume of your radio set when you call us. All right, Ibiso is my first caller from Odili Road. Ibiso, good morning to you. Welcome.
Hello, Port Harcourt.
Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning. Happy New Year again. Good morning, please.
Yes. The government help me the government money. In fact, the government used to donate 200 million when for a fire incident, but in River State, nothing. Why the masses are asking the government? They have Let's say go to northern area, the government giving them the government will go there and build a camp and make that people survive.
However, I heard you, but Ibiso, do you know that scenario is really different? The fire in Akala or in D-Line.
I mean, that's the what I'm saying. This one, to help them. So if the government help, different then won't help. The government is, for example, because goods of 100 million naira, and the government want to come and assist me with certain amount of money to just start at least, It's not a bad thing.
Look, Ibiso, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Wait, hold on, Ibiso. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying, should they even be doing it? If Ibiso lost 100 million naira, why should the government come through? It was an accident. Stanley, speaking to us from Ada George. Stanley, good morning to you. Good morning, hello, sir.
Thank you.
Should the government offer aid all affected by fire? People say, I affected my shop, but you come to arrest.
Punishment for everyone acquired. That takes life, damages property, the punishment. After investigation, it was a human.
Yeah.
Government type.
Okay.
That person should serve that jail sentence.
Stanley, what if the fire was caused by faulty wiring? What if the fire was caused by one electrician?
The government will compensate.
The government should compensate.
Investigation and compensation for everybody.
All right, Stanley, thank you very much. So Stanley says the government should compensate everybody affected by fire after investigations. Now, WhatsApp 0090410900641. Small support. Government failed to put in the incident. And there's a fire outbreak that destroys their goods. Interesting, you there. Okay. All right, this one here says, Jude, good morning. I don't think the government should pay everybody for their loss in a fire. That's why we have insurance companies. But in this country, many people would refuse to go and claim insurances. Everybody thinks that the insurance don't work. They work. It is not government's job to protect you from your own self. When you are in business, government is meant to protect life and property from external and sometimes even internal. But if you have a business, you don't lock your doors, you don't keep your place safe, whose fault is that? Is it the government? I don't think the government should pay everybody. That's my take, and that's from Friday. All right, 92.3, good morning. Oh, dear. Drop call scenario. More messages coming through. Good morning, Jude. I think the government can decide to compensate the victims, but it is not solely their responsibility to do so. It is advisable that business owners should insure their businesses with good insurance companies. Oh, all right. Let's see. Masali, we have just 1 minute. All right. Go on quickly.
Okay.
1 minute.
You know that even from accidents on the road, government is supposed to pay to some victims. Some accidents, you know,
I see.
Eight died because of bad roads. So the enemy, if they have any or anything, and government they need to
a lightning strike hits your building and then it short circuits some of the equipment in your house. Take, for example, your television or your stereo or maybe your router. And then in that short circuiting, something that's been very durable, very, very sound for at least a decade or more starts to burn. You are unaware. But fortunately, before your entire apartment is razed to the ground, you wake up and you are able to salvage maybe your documents and whatnot. Maybe only one room eventually got burnt. Maybe it was the kitchen that got burnt. Now, we live in a country where before you probably get the, sadly so, before you get the fire authority, the fire service to come through, maybe some properties would have been damaged. When that has happened, do you shout and scream, "Government can help me, I'm relying on my family and providing this fridge and freezer is my business, government can help"? It's the biggest market in my 3 years. Goes home after a wonderful business, making sales up to 800,000, expecting the next day to be the same. And then he gets a call by 5 a.m. "Oga, come, fire, they burn your shop." By the time he rushes there, his shop is razed to the ground. Sometimes not even a farthing was saved. And he raises up his arm. "Oh God, government, you should come and help me. It's this is my livelihood. I have school fees to pay. My family, and they want my entire family." And then you have a scenario, something like what Ismail mentioned, where you have an entire community, an entire area that's gone through some terrible disaster, either insurgency attack or famine or flooding. Now, if you were a state governor, of these 3 scenarios I just painted, which one do you think the government should respond to? And when it comes to fire, yes, the fire has razed down shops. Sad. Razed down homes. Sad. But is it really the government's responsibility to offer aid to every fire victim?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Ezekiel on WhatsApp says, "Jude, good morning. There are 2 sides to this conversation. One that some people may not agree with. I don't believe the government owes everybody something when a fire does break out. But I do know this: if there is very clear government ineffectiveness in a particular sector, I think the people should rise up and actually have a class action suit. The number of people who have died because of bad roads in this country cannot be measured. Have we decided as a people to come up and then sue the government and have the government pay compensation one way or the other? The fact that we don't have power and babies have been killed, babies have died, people have fainted in the hospital, no oxygen because the health sector is moribund. Have we raised concerns about that? Where there is government complicity, I think the government should pay. But when people have fires and then they cannot ensure it is left for them, people should get insurance. Zion is in Jerry. Zion, good morning to you. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, the government should compensate everybody and anybody that is affected by fire, including your car. For instance, you are driving to Bayelsa, getting to this Awota area, because of heat, whatever, you don't even know the cause. Your car, not your car now, okay, a car caught fire. See, just come out and start dancing because the government will pay.
Really?
Yes. When you have the build market to caught fire, don't even struggle yourself. Oh, let's pack this thing. Just take inventory. The government will pay. Enemy junction, road to a part or this, and there was accident. Don't worry, the government will pay. The Federal Republic of Nigeria official gazette gave you the power to sue the government not to buy your fridge. To rebuild your house because of the Sinfano. These are the laws on ground. Yeah, dear. Do you know as an individual you have the right to temper your meter? It's only the government that have the power to come and do your electrical work. Do we listen as the people? Only the government can electrify. You pack into a new house. I want to ask you, sir, has any government agency come and check your wiring? If the wiring was complete, they did it well. Have they done that?
Well, I wouldn't know, but you raised a very interesting point. That when it comes to electrification, obviously it's the government that's meant to electrify. That's why you have PhD. You can't do it yourself, but we know people pay for it. But it's through the government legislature. But every accident, you're saying the government should pay?
As long as there's an accident that involves the citizen. I'm not speaking my word. It's in the Gazette, official Gazette.
Okay. Okay. And now, Muriel is in Africa. Muriel, thank you for your patience. Good morning to you, please.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, Jude, I think it's not about emotions or our feelings. There is one thing we cannot take out. That the government has the responsibility to protect lives and property. We cannot take that out, Jude. Now, if we say when in case of fire incidents, the government should not. Now, then, yes, when terrorists attack a particular place, we call on government to come and help the people to come and do that. It's the same thing, Jude. Look, Jude, when the first thing I think government should do is to provide necessary machinery to ensure that when these fire incidents occur, they look for a way to stop it immediately. It's not when you come for fire service, when you build the body and the market has been built 100%, so you begin to see an empty fire service coming. They should ensure that these fire services are optimal and their everything is perfect.
Yeah, but Muriel, even I'm sorry to interject, but Muriel, hold on.
Right.
But even when these things that you just made mention are possible, there are sometimes some fires will go unabated. There's nothing you can do about it. All right? There's nothing. No, even if the fire truck comes, the fire may be so quick, and because of the type of material used, it will burn. So if that is the case, Muriel, should the government compensate that company? Let's say it's your company, Muriel. Let's use your business. God forbid. Heavens forbid that tomorrow there's a fire outbreak. Would you cry out to the government to come and rescue you, to come and give you, to replace your freezer, to replace your TV and the other things in your business?
Absolutely, Jude. The government is like your father. It's like when you call for help, you would pay, but you call on God that you want things. First of all, you lean onto the parent that you see here, that you can hold on to. Your father, the federal government or the state government, please help me. They should help these people, victims of fire incident, honestly. At least if it needs to rebuild this market, if it needs to rebuild this store, if you can't give them something to fall back on, but just at least set up the structure for them to see something to hold on to again.
Okay.
Abandon them, we're going to build up bridges. Yes, we know that they're suffering, they're suffering. The problems on their head is too much. They can't even work up to that. Provide a little support for them so that the other infrastructure you're putting in place, they can be able to breathe. When people go to this house, they can commit suicide. People die as a result of this. You know that people take loans to set up these businesses.
Very true.
Just a little step, a little relief, so that they can be able to build other infrastructure that you're putting on for them. I think the government should help them, honestly. Victor
is on the line from Rumukrishi. Thank you very much. Muriel, good morning to you, Victor.
Okay.
Good morning.
Let's start from this angle. The government is not an individual institution. The government is for the people and the people and to the people. It's all about people. Now, youth, I want to ask a question. I beg to be correct. Which of the institutions that is doing very well? Because let's start from here. Now, we have road safety, we have a VIE, we have police. All are on the road. What is their job? All about collecting money. Do we even see the real job done? Do the road safety is good, or they are there collecting money? Do the VIO take all these things supposed to be regulated by government? That is why I said yesterday that if fire service is working, after putting up the government is supposed to make the investigation to know, especially when they have to do with the people fires, that to fire, that it is as a result of the fire, they got the fire. They had the people that were supposed to be asked. You understand? Now, it is in the place of government as a result of recklessness of government to pay the people.
To pay
because
the people.
Nigerian government, they are so reckless that nothing is functioning.
But what if that fire was started by somebody? It was the fault of somebody. The government should still pay?
This is what I'm saying now, that after putting off the fire, do we even have the fire service? Because after putting off the fire, investigation to be supposed to be carried out.
I
just
agree.
like what you read yesterday.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, after getting the investigation, you will know where the fire comes from. If it is from the fire, everybody else to be arrested and investigated.
Okay.
And we really know that it is from fire. Nobody there that is supposed to be compensated by government. Everybody there is supposed to be arrested. They was of the law.
Okay. It says if it's fire, nobody should be compensated. Victor for Rumo Krushi. Now, good morning, Jude. This is on WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is 0809-030-6416. 0809-030-6416. That's WhatsApp. Facebook and X. It's Twitter, by the way. Facebook and X at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. All right, Sonny Walker on Facebook says, good morning, Jude and the teaming listeners. Empathizing with fire victims and by getting aid from government and individuals is humane and healing to the heart, irrespective of what may have caused the fire. Perhaps anyone can be affected by unforeseen circumstances, such as fire or outbreak. Let us make our society a better place by giving a helping hand. Happy and prosperous New Year to all. Now, Hobson Jr. says, I think if the government can provide the necessary equipment needed to help in the spread of, you mean fight of the fire, not spread of fire, it will be very encouraging before talking about providing aids. That's Hobson Jr. on Facebook. X at Nigeria Info PH. Let's quickly get to X, by the way, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on X. The question we're asking, should the government offer aid to all affected by fire? Whether or not the person had one stove or 50 stoves in his shop, he's a trader. His market store was affected by fire. Should the government come and compensate? Muriel says some level of aid should be done. Maybe fix the structure. They shouldn't be left on their lonesome. Fix the structures, repair the market, put the roof, paint it. Yes, but what about the goods that they have in the stores? Who's going to do that? Who is going to do that? Who should do that? All right, moving on. For those who always call on government, do they think of insurance? Do they have insurance? That's a very good question. Once again, let me cast your mind to the flood disasters in Nigeria that have happened, since 2012, right? There were government interventions, yay or yay. How effective were they? Still up for debate. But the government did intervene. But did the government help or offer aid to those people's houses, particularly let's use Yenegua. At least that's still in very recent memory, that Yenegua was flooded to the point that people were having visitors such as pythons, such as grass cutters, and all, like even some small crocodiles, were visiting them saying, hello, how are you doing? Did the government give them money to replace their furniture, their television sets, their generators? Or did the government's intervention come in the form of making sure drainages were better fixed, power was restored, going around trying to let people know that, look, we're about to fix power, so please make sure that you have insulation so that when the power comes, you don't get electrocuted? Did the government do those things? In fact, let me open a caveat. For those of you who are in Yenegua this morning, please call in. You experienced severe flooding on the large scale in an urban center, because Yenegua is the capital of Bayelsa State. All right. Now, when your houses were flooded, at least I have friends and families, and those of you who have friends and families who were affected by the floods in Yenagoa, was that 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. What aid did the government offer? What aid would you have liked to see? Let's hear from you. 08179230002, 08179230003, 08179230002, 08179230003. There's a call screener, so please just drop your name and your location and we'll have a great conversation with you. Turn down the volume of your radio set when you call in. All right, Ibiso is on WhatsApp. Ibiso says, good morning, Jude. The governor swore to protect lives and properties when he was taking his oath of office. So this is part of what we're discussing. Thank you. The government should come to the aid. Yes, should come to their aid. That's what Ibiso is saying. Good morning, Jude. I don't believe the government anywhere on this planet has the capacity to meet every need, every disaster at every point in time. What should be talked about is how systems can be in place so that people can get some measure of reprieve when disasters happen. Do you think when fires affect those countries that have fire outbreaks, wildfires, do you think the government gives money to all the homes that were lost? I don't think so. I think we need to sit down as a country and find out what exactly the government should be doing. Okay. Influence from Port Harcourt says it's not possible for the government in Nigeria or any part of the world to offer aid to all citizens' businesses or properties affected by fire. Rather, the government, very similar to the last comment, should drive the awareness for insurance, while citizens should do well to make insurance cover over their business and property a habit. John from Rumalumini. John, good morning to you, please.
Good morning.
Good morning, John.
I'm Mr. Wome John calling from Rumalumini.
It's a pleasure to have you join us this morning.
Yes. It is the statutory duty of the government to protect lives and properties and to provide social amenities. So with respect to this market incineration or fire you're talking about, the government is statutorily limited to providing you the market, which is the social amenity, and then ensuring that securities are in place to check against arson.
Okay.
In case anybody puts the market on fire, the government, the police, and every other security agency that has been put in place by the government will not arrest and prosecute that person.
Fair
but
enough.
if by virtue of carelessness, negligence, you set your market on fire, it is not the role of the government to compensate the individual members. Going by their statutory function, the government can go putting back the market for you. When you hear that fire was engulfed in
the market was engulfed.
Adamawa State, where the River State government gave them 500 million naira.
That's Sokoto.
The River State government did not give the individual traders the 500 million naira. The River State government gave them money to rebuild the market, which is also a statutory function of the government. So when you know you are in market, you are into trading, and you're making your money, why don't you go into insurance? Why don't you insure your property? Not whenever the government come and help us. When you were enjoying, why did you neglect the insurance companies? Why did you jettison their function?
But John,
limited to providing the market for you, providing essential services like the fire service, facilities like the fire service, and ensuring that whoever tries to carry an action
is punished,
is prosecuted.
Fine.
And not to compensate the individual traders.
John,
the market.
John,
if the government by extension wishes to give 1 or 2 persons money, that is by extension. It is not their statutory mandation. They are not mandated to do that statutorily. Thank you very much.
All right, John, can you hear me? Hello, John.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Now, what about those people who are of the opinion that, look, we already pay taxes, and sometimes we are overburdened by taxes, and the quality of the markets, for example, are not top notch. The quality of the roads are not top notch. So why can't the government, make up for, their lapses in providing these same amenities that you just made mention of?
Now, taxes have purposes. You pay the tax not as an insurance policy. You are paying the tax not because of fire. You are paying the tax as context. The tax you're paying is not an insurance policy. When the government has failed to do what it's supposed to do, you now use the necessary measures to call them to order. Say, government will pay tax. Fix our road to the market. ensure that there is electricity, ensure that fire service extensions are in our market here. And not that when fire catches, you need to call on the government to compensate you. If government sets such a precedence, it means that the level of negligence in the market areas will be from government.
Thank you very much. Good conversation. Good to have heard you this morning. Now, this is if government can hundreds of naira to bank and where market, then it's supposed to give to it. Mr. D, I don't know if you just last caller, he may be interested into this conversation. I don't know if that helps answer your question. Good morning, Jude. We need to start to think critically about our problems. We have the notion that it's the government to do everything, spoon feed us, bathe us, and even take us to the hospital. Yes, the government has not done well in several affairs that it is primarily meant to do. But what about the citizens? People should take and embrace insurance wholeheartedly. There are insurance scams, we know, but this is where government regulations come. If the government can sanitize the insurance industry, more people will jump at insurances so that when things go bad, nobody's shouting for government. Once again, the government does not put food in your mouth. What the government does is make sure you have a place to go get your food. Interesting. Let's get to Facebook now and X at Nigeria Info PH at Nigeria Info PH. That's where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. Once again, the question we're asking is: aid a must for all affected by fire? We're looking at the fire outbreak now. Something has happened. I think the government should pay. Where do you stand? Do you agree or do you disagree? Let's hear from you. Okay, all right. So, Onye, I cannot read this message. I don't quite understand what you're talking about. It's not phrased properly. All right, so please do bear with me. I've seen the message, right, but I can't. I don't understand it. So please, maybe you can try resending that message. 01792300002, 01792300003. All right, at Nigeria Info PH on Facebook and on X. 92.3. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Very well.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Considering the discussion on grants, why is it that we keep discussing something that doesn't make sense? Every day or every day, we take every fire outbreak in our market. What stop government? As they are building market, they will make a provision where fire service will be. Like that's my one market. They don't finish it. There's no provision for fire service. But how on earth can we see this mistake over and over again? Having known that our fire service, each time you call them one day, they don't usually come. Yeah, in every market, there should be a mini fire service that will take care of anything that will come up in that market as a result of fire. They will take care of it without calling the main fire service. Why are we keep making this mistake? Every day we keep on bringing up this matter for us to discuss it. Every market should have a mini fire service. That's what they're the market. That's why it's supposed to be. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That's a nice suggestion. Now, even when there are fire services close by, fires can still occur. Once again, there's a reason why they're called accidents. They can occur. All right, it's not 100% proof that if you build a house properly and you put the right insulation, nothing will go wrong. It's not true. It's not true. But yes, he makes a great point. If there are stations closer to these marketplaces, right, the response time will be far greater, far more impressive, quicker than what it is now, where people sometimes wait for an hour. Imagine there's a fire raising in the building and you have to wait 30 minutes, an hour. Okay. All right. Good morning, Port Harcourt. Jude, if you own a 30 million shop with goods in it, will you be paying for tax? If yes, a tax is one way the government gets revenue. What's revenue money used for? If there are shops, stores, market that are worth over billions, are they not paying taxes to the government? As government, why don't you fix the fire department within 5 areas of these business areas? As government, life and property is your responsibility to protect. after the fire incident, an investigation should be taken in place for immediate action consideration if the government has failed to provide quick response and training, Stanley says. All right, Stanley, I think it's a great idea, and I think a lot of the callers so far, oh my God, just about a minute left. A lot of people have made great comments about, investigations after, a fire outbreak. But like John said, taxes are meant for the creation of the infrastructure. Your business, like somebody said, it is government's job to create the environment for you to go and get food. It is not government's job to put the food in your mouth. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Stanley. Anyway, we'll wrap up. I think I can take just one more. I have 1 minute and 20 seconds here where I'll just read messages. Let's quickly run through the social media pages at Nigeria Info PH. Let me be sure I've read all the messages on the subject matter. Chidima Victoria says, we pay tax to the government, so it's the government that should be responsible to compensate anyone involved in the fire outbreak. But once again, Victoria, have you heard of insurance? The last caller says, look, if we don't promote insurance, people will become more careless. After all, government go pay. In fact, I think Zion made that statement. Was it not Zion that said, ideally, if anything happens, don't worry, just celebrate, government will pay. But the government really cannot pay for everything. Particularly in a country as complex and as populous as we are. 180 plus million is no joke. Even within the territorial borders of River State, do you really think that the River State government will be able to pay every single person when there's a fire? And obviously, we don't expect the fire to happen every month. But 7 last month alone. And you can understand maybe dry season, the weather, blah, 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 blah. But there were other months that we experienced fire in the city. So for all those affected, do you think the government really would be able to pay every single family, every single individual, compensate them, whether it's even half of the money that they claim to have lost? I don't know. But more conversations, more discussions definitely have to be had. My name is Jude. We'll go for a break. And when we come back, I'll wrap up reading more comments. Stay tuned.